Today's the beginning of March. Spring officially begins in 3 weeks. Around this time in 1692, a virtual firestorm erupted in Salem, Massachusetts. Welcome to the Thing About Salem. I'm Josh Hutchinson.
I'm Sarah Jack, and we're descendants of the Salem Witch Trials. From February 24th to February 29th, 1692, a major shift happened in the development of what would become the Salem Witch Trials as attitudes changed toward the cause of the afflictions. We'll begin by recapping this shift and then cover the events of the fateful first week of March 1692.
A turning point occurred February 24th when a physician said Betty Paris and Abigail Williams were under an evil hand. After 6 weeks of mysterious illness, this diagnosis got people thinking, what if it's witchcraft?
The next day, two more girls, Ann Putnam Jr. and Elizabeth Hubbard, came down with afflictions of their own. The problem was spreading.
Meanwhile, Paris' neighbor Mary Sibley decided that if a witch was at work, they needed to be identified soon.
Mary instructed Tituba and John Indian, the persons enslaved in Paris's household, to bake a witch cake, which would detect the witch afflicting the girls.
The cake was baked with rye meal and urine from Betty and Abigail. This mixture was heated in the ashes of a fire and fed to an unlucky dog.
This procedure was supposed to reveal the witch by causing them injury or to cure the girls by transferring the affliction to the unlucky dog.
The process did not work as expected. However, the girls did soon begin naming witches.
On the 26th of February, ministers and Salem gentlemen visited the Paris household. They observed the girls' afflictions firsthand and declared the hand of Satan was in it.
However, the ministers advised Samuel Paris to sit still and wait upon the providence of God to see what time might discover.
Give it time. Just give it time. No. The ministers questioned Tituba about the witch cake. She took blame on herself, not mentioning the involvement of Mary Sibley.
The following day, Sarah Good's specter supposedly brought the Devil's Book to Ann Putnam Jr. and Elizabeth Hubbard and urged them to sign their names.
On February 28th, it was a very rainy Sabbath day.
Then on the 29th, in the parsonage, Tituba was supposedly visited by the devil and 4 witches, who instructed her to hurt the children or else.
At prayer time, Tituba was again visited by the devil and Sarah Good, along with a menagerie of familiars, including birds, cats, and a dog. One bird, which had a human head, turned into Sarah Osborne.
Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne purportedly got Tituba on a pole and flew her to Thomas Putnam's house, where they told her to kill Ann Putnam Jr. with a knife. When Tituba refused, the witch specters told her they'd cut her head off.
Meanwhile, the girls were afflicted more than ever on the 29th of February. Samuel Paris and his friends could no longer sit still and wait before taking action against the supposed witches.
They made it a whole 3 days before they got involved. And then neighbor Joseph Hutchinson, Thomas Preston, a son-in-law of Rebecca Nurse, Thomas Putnam, and Deacon Edward Putnam, Thomas's brother, they all filed a complaint against Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne, claiming that they afflicted Betty Paris, Abigail Williams, Ann Putnam Jr., and Elizabeth Hubbard.
Salem Magistrates issued warrants for the arrests of these 3 accused women, who were to be taken to Ingersoll's Tavern in Salem Village the next morning for their preliminary examinations.
March 1st, 1692 was a busy day in Salem Village. Excitement and anxiety mingled in the air as the first 3 suspected witches were brought in for questioning.
Constable George Locker arrested Sarah Good, and Constable Joseph Herrick arrested Sarah Osborne and Tituba.
Before the questioning began, Hannah Ingersoll, wife of the local tavkeeper, physically inspected the 3 suspects for witches' marks and found nothing suspicious.
But William Good reported that his wife Sarah Good had a possible witch's mark below her right shoulder.
Ingersoll's ordinary could not fit the mass crowd present to witness the hearings.
Magistrates John Hathorne and Jonathan Corwin examined the 3 witchcraft suspects in the Salem Village meeting house. Back then, the justices interrogated the suspects directly.
We have 4 accounts of these first 3 court hearings. The magistrates both took their own notes, but they also appointed Ezekiel Cheever, son of Boston's schoolmaster, to record the proceedings. And Joseph Putnam also recorded his own account.
Sarah Good was the first to be questioned. John Hathorne took the lead in questioning her, beginning with a series of leading questions.
Sarah Good, what evil spirit have you familiarity with?
None.
Have you made no contract with the devil?
No.
Why do you hurt these children?
I do not hurt them. I scorn it.
Who do you employ then to do it?
I employ nobody.
What creature do you employ then?
No creature, but I am falsely accused.
Why did you go away muttering from Mr. Parris's house?
I did not mutter, but I thanked him for what he gave my child.
Have you made no contract with the devil?
No.
At this point, Hathorne instructed the afflicted children, who were all present in the meeting house, to look at Sarah Good and say if she was one of the women hurting them. When they looked, they all fell into fits.
Hathorne begins a new line of leading questions, asking Good why she torments the children, rather than if she torments the children.
Under pressure to tell who it was who did hurt the children if it wasn't her, Good blamed Sarah Osborne.
Then Hathorne asked her about her habit of muttering, as she was said to have done following a visit to Samuel Parris's household in February.
What is it that you say when you go away muttering from persons' houses?
If I must tell, I will tell.
Do tell us then.
If I must tell, I will tell. It is the commandments. I may say my commandments, I hope.
What commandment is it?
If I must tell you, I will tell you. It is a psalm.
What psalm?
After a long time, she muttered over some part of a psalm.
Hathorne asked Sarah Good's husband, William Good, why do you say your wife is a witch or will be one very quickly?
He said, she is not in this nature, but it is her bad carriage to me, and indeed, I may say with tears, that she is an enemy to all good.
Next, Osborne was interrogated with a similar line of questions. What evil spirit have you familiarity with?
None.
Have you made no contract with the devil?
No, I never saw the devil in my life.
Why do you hurt these children?
I do not hurt them.
Who do you employ then to hurt them?
I employ nobody.
Later, Hathorne told Osborne, Sarah Good saith that it was you that hurt the children.
And Osborne replied, I do not know that the devil goes about in my likeness to do any hurt.
This is key because a debate was waged throughout the witch trials, a very important debate about whether the devil could assume the shape of an innocent person.
During the questioning, Hathorne asked about something Osborne had been heard to say earlier in the morning.
Osborne had said that she was more like to be bewitched than that she was a witch.
She explained that she had said that because she once had a nightmare about a Native American who did pinch her in her neck and pulled her by the back part of her head to the door of the house.
Hathorne also questioned Osborne about her long absence from worship, which she said was due to a prolonged illness.
Then it was Tituba's turn.
Tituba, what evil spirit have you familiarity with?
None.
Why do you hurt these children?
I do not hurt them.
Who is it then?
The devil, for aught I know.
Did you never see the devil?
The devil came to me and bid me serve him.
Who have you seen?
4 women, and sometimes they hurt the children.
Who were they?
Goody Osborne and Sarah Good, and I do not know who the others were. Sarah Good and Osborne would have me hurt the children, but I would not. I did also see a tall man of Boston.
When did you see them?
Last night at Boston.
What did they say to you?
They said hurt the children.
And did you hurt them?
No, there is 4 women and 1 man. They hurt the children and then lay all upon me. And they tell me if I will not hurt the children, they will hurt me.
Tituba's story about multiple witches operating in Massachusetts, in Salem, and in Boston must have sent shivers down the spines of the people packed into that meeting house.
She then admitted that she had hurt the children, but only under threat, and that she would be hurt even worse if she didn't comply.
Why these witches needed to employ such elaborate schemes to afflict the children and couldn't have just done it directly is unclear.
Judge Hathorne continued the questioning.
What have you seen?
A man came to me and said, "Serve me."
What service?
Hurt the children. And last night there was an appearance that said, "Kill the children." If I would not go on hurting the children, they would do worse to me.
What is this appearance you see?
Sometimes it is like a hog, and sometimes like a great dog.
What did it say to you?
It is the black dog that said, "Serve me," but I said, "I'm afraid." He said if I did not, he would do worse to me.
What did you say to it?
"I will serve you no longer." Then he said he would hurt me, and then he looked like a man and threatened to hurt me. This man had a yellow bird that he kept with him, and he told me he had more pretty things that he would give me if I would serve him.
Did you not pinch Elizabeth Hubbard this morning?
The man brought her to me and made me pinch her.
Why did you go to Thomas Putnam's last night and hurt his child?
They pulled me and hauled me and made me go.
And what would they have you do? Kill her with a knife?
Lieutenant Fuller and others say when the child saw these persons and was tormented by them, she did complain of a knife. They would have her cut her head off with a knife.
How did you go?
We ride upon sticks and are there presently.
Do you go through the trees or over them?
We see nothing, but are there presently.
Why did you not tell your master?
I was afraid. They said they would cut off my head if I told.
Would you not have hurt others if you could?
They said they would hurt others, but they could not.
Hathorne questioned Tituba about what other creatures she had seen.
She had said she was visited by cats, a red one and a black one the size of a small dog.
Did the cats not feed from her witch's teats?
No, never yet. I would not let them, but they had almost thrust me into the fire.
What attendants hath Sarah Good?
A yellow bird, and she would have given me one.
What meat did she give it?
It did suck her between her fingers.
Did not you hurt Mr. Corwin's child?
Goody Good and Goody Osborne told that they did hurt Mr. Corwin's child and would have had me hurt him, but I did not.
This was likely a reference to Magistrate Jonathan Corwin's son George, who had been kicked severely by a horse at age 6 and nearly drowned around the age of 9. Hathorne kept on with the questions. What hath Sarah Osborne?
Yesterday she had a thing with a head like a woman with legs and wings.
What else have you seen with Goody Osborne?
Another thing, Harry. It goes upright like a man. It hath only 2 legs.
Did you not see Sarah Good upon Elizabeth Hubbard last Saturday?
I did see her set a wolf upon her to afflict her.
The persons with this maid did say that she did complain of a wolf.
I saw a cat with Good at another time.
What clothes doth the man go in?
He goes in black clothes. A tall man with white hair, I think.
How do the women go?
In a white hood and a black hood with a top knot.
Do you see who it is that torments these children now?
Yes, it is Goody Good. She hurts them in her own shape.
And who is it that hurts them now?
I am blind now. I cannot see.
After Tituba was questioned, she and Sarah Osborne were taken to Salem jail, while Sarah Good, who was to be placed in Ipswich jail, spent the night under guard at the home of her kinsman, Constable Joseph Herrick.
Also, on March 1st, Salem Village residents had a meeting and appointed Captain John Putnam and Jonathan Putnam, his son, to send a petition to the general court pressing for separation from Salem town.
And the Salem Village meeting appointed Daniel Andrews to go to Salem town and declined their offer, which would have exempted villagers from maintaining town roads in exchange for the village maintaining its own poor.
William Allen and John Hughes saw some sort of beast. When they approached the beast, it transformed briefly into Tituba, Sarah Good, and Sarah Osborne, but they quickly dematerialized.
Elizabeth Hubbard reported that Sarah Good's specter was afflicting her. With his cane, Samuel Sibley struck at the place where Elizabeth said the specter was, and Hubbard claimed that Sibley had nearly killed the supposed witch.
That night, Sarah Good escaped from her guards and cut her arm. Failing to get anywhere, she returned herself to custody.
The next day, March 2nd, Sarah Good escaped 3 times en route to the jail in Ipswich.
Samuel Braybrook claimed Sarah Good tried to take her own life, but he offered no details.
Magistrates John Hathorne and Jonathan Corwin interrogated Sarah Osborne and Tituba in Salem's jail.
Sarah Osborne continued to claim innocence, whereas Tituba elaborated upon the previous day's confession.
The man told Tituba he was God and she must serve him for 6 years. Tituba said this happened a little more than 6 weeks ago, the Friday before Betty got sick.
The last detail helps us pin down when the afflictions began. 6 weeks before March 2nd was January 20th, a Wednesday. The Friday before that was January 15th.
So Betty was the first afflicted, and she took ill a little after January 15th.
Tituba testified that on January 20th, just before prayer time in the evening, the man and the 4 witches came to her at the parsonage.
Hathorne asked her, "What did this man say to you when he took hold of you?"
He said, "Go into the other room and see the children and do hurt to them and pinch them." And then I went in, and I would not hurt them a good while. I would not hurt Betty. I loved Betty. But they hauled me and made me pinch Betty and the next Abigail, and then quickly went away altogether after I had pinched them.
Another crucial detail emerged in the course of this examination.
Tituba confessed to making her mark in the devil's book with blood. She said the book was already signed by 9 witches.
2 of the 9 witches were the unidentified women who were part of the devil's company. Tituba was not able to read their names or the others, but the devil did tell her Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne had signed.
That left 7 unidentified witches roaming Massachusetts, some in Salem, and others in Boston.
This detail moved the affair into the witch hunt phase, where they were actively seeking out possible witches. The other conspirators had to be identified ASAP.
Also March 2nd, John Hughes claimed a white dog followed him to his house and was supposedly visited in the night by a mysterious cat illuminated by a strange light.
And Sarah Good's specter supposedly visited William Allen in the night.
Elizabeth Hubbard, Samuel Parris, Thomas Putnam, Ezekiel Cheever, and Ann Putnam Jr. were deposed against Good, Osborne, and Tituba.
Depositions were recorded. That's testimony that they gave orally that was written down to preserve it for evidence for use before the grand jury and then the trial jury.
On March 3rd, 1692, the specter of 4-year-old Dorothy Good allegedly attacked Ann Putnam Jr. with help from an unknown woman.
Tituba was questioned again and repeated her previous confession.
Moving to March 5th, Sarah Good was transferred from the Ipswich jail to Salem.
John Hathorne and Jonathan Corwin interrogated Sarah Good and Tituba in Salem's jail. No details of the conversation were recorded except that Tituba acknowledged her previous confession and accused Good and Osborne.
William Allen, William Good, John Hughes, and Samuel Braybrook submitted a statement against Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba.
On March 6th, Elizabeth Proctor allegedly attacked Ann Putnam Jr.
On March 7th, Governor Phipps and Reverend Increase Mather left London for a slow return to Massachusetts with something important.
The charter. Ministers convened a meeting in the Harvard College Library to talk about religious revival. They, believing God was casting judgment on the province, decided that each congregation must look internally for sins and pray for redemption.
Next, Sarah Good, Sarah Osborne, and Tituba were transferred to the Boston prison.
Thank you for joining us for this action-packed episode, and visit us daily for detailed accounts of the events of the Salem Witch Trials day by day.
You can follow along with our blog and student worksheets at aboutsalem.com.